Oh,
Good morning or afternoon, wherever you're listening from.
yes. Drop it in the comments where you're tuning in from.
Yes. And if there's any background noise, excuse the background. It's summer and people are getting their yards done.
Yeah.
So, got some background noise. But we're super excited to be here today and go through all of our top story strategy tips. And also share some exciting news here at Metricool of some of our newest features and some free gifts.
Yeah.
So if you stay, you can get some nice tools and some free tips from us. So yeah,
Yeah, we're
excited.
super excited to be here. And if you haven't tuned in a while, Aniston and I haven't done a webinar together in a while. So,
Mhm.
hi, I'm Alex. I'm the social media manager for Metricool, and Aniston is the SEO copywriter. So, we're super excited to give all the advice and tips on stories today.
Yes. Yeah, Alex and I are team members of the US team here at Metricool. So yeah, you may have seen us before, but we haven't been on just the two of us. So yeah, let's get into it. So, first of all, I want to talk about some of Metricool's newest features. So, some of you may have heard about this already, but Instagram has opened its API. So, third party tools like us now have the option to schedule and auto publish stories on Instagram. So, this has been a huge game changer because, you know, this means that you can kind of tackle all of your social media tasks in one. Makes it really easy for social media managers scheduling out content, especially when they're managing multiple accounts, etc. So that's been a huge feature at Metricool. I don't know if you want to talk about it anymore, Alex.
Yeah, super exciting, especially if you are a social media manager. When you didn't have the opportunity to fully schedule out before, now you can get a little bit more time and schedule out certain stories. Before it was all push notification based, and now for the most part, despite some of the interactive features, you can fully schedule out those stories. And even if there are some limitations, you can still do the push notification route so that, maybe you were fully push notificationing 50 stories a week. Maybe now it's only 25 because you can do that automatically now.
Yeah. And someone asked if this is included in our free plan, and yes, it is. So you can schedule stories for free. And we also added super another exciting feature, but we have allowed access for creators to auto publish content now. This is still limited. Are they for stories? Creators need to still enable the push notifications. That's the only limitation we have with creator accounts right now for publishing stories. But everything else, auto publish content across all social networks. So that's been a huge plus for creator accounts.
Super exciting. And we hope that it will be eventually given to creator accounts. But yes, you do need to do a business account if you do want to do the full publishing of stories. So that's a very good distinction if you need to switch back and forth between the types of accounts, at least for now, if you want those fully auto publishing features.
And we get this question a lot about trending audio and stickers for stories. So, this is the other limitation, like Alex said. In order to have the trending audio and the stickers, you can still enable push notifications and you'll get an email at the time that you scheduled your content. And then you can upload it and then add in those stickers and trending audio. So, that's the way to work around it with still having that organization and kind of the scheduling in place. We hope that in the future this can be added because we all know that we want it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it would be super nice
so
if we could have it in the future. But for now, there's obviously workarounds to it.
yeah. Okay, so today we're going to have kind of a section in the beginning. We're going to talk about more of the strategy side of stories. And then we're going to actually go into Metricool and demo and see how to schedule stories and then look at those analytics. So if we kind of want to dive into scheduling stories first, I know that you are the one who comes up with more of the ideas.
Yeah.
So you can pick your brain a little bit about kind of, how you run through strategy of creating stories.
Yes, of course. So what I personally like to do is I like to sit down at the beginning of the week and kind of think about what I can schedule out now that it is available and what I will have limitations on and how I can work around those limitations. So I've found that you just have to get somewhat creative. So you don't necessarily need to post every day now because of that scheduling. So for example, let's say you wanted to do a day in the life. Now, while that more than likely you would think would need to be done live, especially if you want to add stickers or want to add any of those things. You can still do that. But if you don't have the time to get on and do like a day in the life on your stories, you could easily record all of that content beforehand and then schedule it out. That's one way. And, you could edit your own videos outside and then to make it more interactive and adding those elements. So that's one way that you can kind of get around those limitations. There's also things like behind the scene content. If let's say you're, like at a product shoot or you have something new that you are teasing, you can always record that and then schedule it out later. While it is nice to do live stories, it isn't necessarily necessary all the time, especially because we all have full schedules. If you are a social media manager and you manage multiple accounts, it's just more feasible to schedule that stuff out if you can. So I always say if you can batch your stories, that's a really great way to kind of set yourself up for success for the week. You can even do this with takeovers. Again, takeovers kind of when you hear that, you think of that live aspect. So what you could do is you could have someone take over the account in the sense of they would film everything, and then on that day maybe they just need to go in and maybe they could do like a Q&A. So they don't necessarily have to be taking over the whole day and taking the whole day to do all that stuff, and they could set aside that time to do something else. There's also things like another popular one I would say that's really easy to do and to schedule out is sharing testimonials and reviews, especially because you can batch this content super easily. If you have a long list, you can go into Canva, you can create some nice story graphics, and you can schedule that all out in a row. And I'll show you how to do that in Metricool in a little bit. But makes it super easy. Or if you want, you could create, let's say you have 15 reviews, you could space that out and do one review on your stories per day. There's so many different ways you can work with testimonials and reviews. And then series. I love the fact that we can schedule now because you can do a series and it makes it super simple for you without having to log on every single time at that specific time frame. Like let's say you have a series on Thursday. Now you can prep that content ahead of time and then schedule it out for Thursdays, and your audience will know like, hey, like every Thursday this is going to come out. And let's say you have like a last minute emergency on Thursday. If you were doing that live, it would obviously push back your stories because life gets in the way. So that's another really great way to schedule out content ahead is to pre-plan your series. And for story highlights, we wanted to touch on that a little bit too, just like some good tips and rules of thumb. I don't know if anyone, well, I guess we can do questions at the end, right? And then we'll just touch on story highlights. So we often see that story highlights are forgotten about. So we just wanted to do some good tips so that you can have them looking organized. We like to say that you shouldn't have too many story highlights because they'll get lost. Like when someone comes to your Instagram profile, if you have 15 story highlights, there's not a good chance that they're going to scroll through all of them. So we would say maybe pick 4 or 5 that you think are like your top things that you want people to look at or always access. You can do like a start here, a frequently asked questions, maybe like you can save your testimonials and reviews that we were just talking about. And we also think that you should comb over your stories pretty frequently. I would say like at least every few months. Make sure that you don't have a story that was posted like 96 weeks ago, things like that. So those are some really easy, nice story tips that you can do. Do you have anything
Amazing.
else to add, Aniston?
No, someone asked any tips for how to do a series. And I don't know if you have any off the bat, but I think
Yeah,
this,
go ahead. Sorry.
I think for the organization side of it, I think choosing a day and then having just a specific day so that you can schedule out content for this day, and okay, Wednesdays are my series days. And then when it comes, I don't know if you have tips for, I guess, kind of creating the series. I don't know.
Yeah, so just kind of playing off what you said, absolutely. Like, first, pick a day and honestly pick a time. If you can kind of like train your viewers to be like, at 2 p.m. every Wednesday, my stories are going to go up for this series. And a series can be anything. Obviously, you'll probably want to relate it back to your business. So, for example, for us, like, I do a series every 2 weeks on Thursdays. I do a What's Trending on Thursdays, where I'll just pick like something that's going on in pop culture or something that's going on in the marketing world, and I just do some stories about that. So I can obviously pre-plan that, because for the most part, I'll know what the content is going to be ahead of time. So that's one way you could do it. If you want to do like a product series, if you just want to cycle through your list of products, like, you can do 1 week you'll showcase one product, the next week you'll showcase another, and you'll like really deep dive into like what you're selling. So I would sit down, brainstorm, get creative. There's so many different ways to do series, and they're really popular. I feel like it's a really great way for you to interact with your audience. And a lot of the times they learn things that they didn't necessarily know about you or your brand.
Definitely. Yeah. Amazing. Okay, well, I mean, if, like I said in the beginning, if you have more questions, leave them in the chat. Alex and I are going to do kind of a Q&A at the end, like always. And also in our Q&A, we're going to share some important links and also a little freebie to help, schedule out stories and get creative with stories. So make sure to stay to the end until that. And now we are going to go into Metricool and actually demo and show you how to schedule stories, and then also show you the analytics side, so that you can improve your strategy and see how your stories are working. So let's go ahead and head into Metricool. So if you guys aren't familiar with Metricool, this is the planning side. So if you open up the planning, you will see a calendar with an overview of all of your scheduled posts already. And this is a drag and drop calendar. So if you want to, move around your posts to any other time or day, it's really easy to just, drag it anywhere else. Yeah, amazing. And then if you see kind of the gradient colors, this is our best times feature. So it has a percentage of, based on your followers and your community, when your followers are more active. So you can toggle on the exact percentage. And this is great for, scheduling at those times when your followers are more active. So, we recommend too that if you're going to schedule stories, find these times when you can really fully connect with your audience.
Yes, I am going to go ahead and show a draft that I have already prepared for you guys to just show how easy it is to schedule out your stories. So, like Aniston was saying, this is our calendar. So, I have a draft post in here. But before I click into that, I will just open up a brand new post. So, I already have Instagram toggled on. But if you didn't, you would just need to, it's just an easy toggle on feature. So, we'll just toggle on Instagram. And then there's going to be a right hand drop right here. You'll want to make sure you're on stories. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is that the caption box remains there, but you don't actually need to post anything in the caption box, because of course it is a story, but that is just what it looks like. And then that is just how to set up posting for stories. And then you would go down here to add your image or your video. So I'm going to go to the other draft so you guys can see. And one really nice thing that we also have is that you can schedule multiple stories at once, and it can be a mix of different types of content. So it doesn't necessarily have to be just photos. It can also be photos and videos. So you have a good variety of what you can schedule out. So for example, here I have a graphic, and then if I click right to the preview, I'll have another graphic. I have a video scheduled out, and then I even have a little template, which is really nice. And like I said, especially if you're doing something like, if you're doing, a series, like, being able to schedule out multiple at once just really saves you time. And of course, you can do it just for a single video or a single photo, but if you're trying to batch those stories, you can do that within our planner. So
Amazing.
that's very simple right there. And then you also have the option to edit the images that you upload. So that's another little option if you did want to edit your story. Let's say you're uploading something more blank. And then I want to also show, so if I scroll all the way to this post stories, I actually created this right within Metricool. We have an option if you go back down to the documents and you'll see here stories templates. You can click on that. And again, this is free for anyone to use. And it actually just populates some free templates that you can use. Let's say if you maybe are kind of in a story rut or you want to get something up, it has, blank templates. It has little polls, it has quotes, questions. I did a little quote one and I did post stories, but you can pick one of these and it's going to add it and it'll immediately take you to the image editor. And then from there, you can add whatever you'd like. You can add text, you can add stickers, you can add a frame, you can make all these adjustments right within Metricool, which is super nice. So, like if I wanted to add a text box, I could create the text box and then save it. So that, and then it adds it in automatically. I'm going to delete it, but this is the one I made directly within Metricool. So that's another nice little option for you.
Amazing. And also, if you click down at the little photo video icon, we do have stock images and stock videos. So you can literally just type in, what you're looking for and change the orientation too. So you can find, any content you're looking for if you're in a time crunch or just kind of lacking content. That's an easy way to find some content.
Yes, and you can also edit those stock images and stock videos too. So like let's say you find a stock image you like, you can add text over it, or if you want to cater it to specifically what you wanted to post to your stories, you can do that.
Amazing. Okay. And one other tip too in creating stories is Metricool has an integration with Canva. So if you work with Canva a lot and you create your graphics in there, there's a way where you can just take the graphic and export it directly into Metricool's planner. So this is a really good tool if you don't want to download download the story or the graphic and then re-upload it to Metricool. This is a way that you can just export it directly into the planner. So to do this, I can show you exactly how to do it.
And again, the Canva integration is free to use. So as long as you have a Canva account, you can integrate it with Metricool and send all of your content. And it's not just stories too. You can use it for your single image posts on your posting as well.
Okay, so when you're in Canva, I'm just going to pull up, this is from a carousel we did with Juan, who is a creator that we love to work with. So if you were going to share this, why is it black? Okay, so if you were going to share this, you would go up to share and then find the more tab, click on that, and then you'll see kind of other integration social, and you're gonna go all the way to more options and you'll see the Metricool logo right here. So you can click on Metricool. You can add, this is just to add kind of a message if you want, but you can delete it once you get into the planner. But stories, for example, it will prepare your design and then it will have an option to just say export into Metricool directly. So waiting for it to load.
Yeah. And then also one thing too, since we're waiting, once you use the integration, Metricool will appear like in your top used features in Canva. So it'll just be easy to click on Metricool each time.
Okay, so then you'll see view in Metricool and it will just take you directly to the calendar. And then you just choose the time and date for it to be scheduled. Oh, there we go. Okay, just to choose the time and date for it to be scheduled, and then it's super easy. Let's see. Go to stories. And these aren't the right sizes for stories, so you'll see that it's, not optimize their stories. But this is just an example of how you can upload your graphics directly from Canva. So that is another great option.
This example right here, I actually imported directly from Canva. I just changed the text. And we like having both because, like I said, you can do the editing with the templates directly within Metricool. But, there are people who like to have that extra design feature. So if you prefer to just edit completely in Canva, that's just a nice way for you to transfer that work over. And speaking of that, we actually have a freebie for you guys today that has to do with Canva.
Okay, I'm going to toggle this on.
There you
go. Okay, so this is a Instagram story templates for Canva. So these are some free templates that you can use, and we're going to share the link to this sheet so you can use it and download these templates. So here's just some instructions on how to use it. Pretty straightforward. And there's also some other tips at the bottom of, how to use the integration of Canva with Metricool and using the image bank and using, the image editor in Metricool. So just some kind of information and tips. And then here's the actual templates that you can choose from.
It's really nice too because you can see that was the example I had, but you just click onto it and it'll take you directly to that template in Canva and you can make all of those customizations that you like. So these are just some good ideas to get you started. You can edit these completely to your liking, to your branding, but it's a nice little beginners so that you can tweak it to how you like it.
Yes. Okay. So we just dropped the link to all of these templates. So if you want to utilize these, enjoy the little freebie.
Please do.
Okay. And then lastly, for kind of the demo in Metricool, we're going to head to the analytics side and kind of show you the analytics of the stories and then how you can, use these to improve your strategy, improve your content.
Okay. So we are currently in the analytics. I'm going to go directly to Instagram, which is on the left-hand pane. And then I'm just going to go straight to the story section. If you aren't super familiar with our analytics section, you can see the tabs at the top, which makes it super easy. You just click in and it'll take you directly to that section. So these are our story analytics. These are great to see if your story strategy is working and to test to see maybe like what you're scheduling out. Like maybe you can do more of what's working. Maybe something didn't work, so you might not want to do things like that. So that's how you can use our analytics to really fine tune that story strategy. You can see things like impressions, your average reach per story, as well as how many stories you've posted. And you can always change the time frame. So like, let's say if I wanted to look at the top stories in the last 30 days, I can do that. And I can see, my reach, how many I've done. You can also toggle on and off the graph so that you can see directly what metrics you just want to see. And then my personal favorite is the list. So the list will organize this depending on whichever metric you care about the most. If you go over here to the right-hand side in the columns, you can toggle on what metrics you want to see, but you can see things like impressions, organic reach, organic replies. You slide over organic tap forwards, and you can see, your most popular stories. So for example, this one was one of our most popular ones, which was a new video on YouTube that we had. And if you click on more, it'll tell you if any text was added. So this one isn't necessarily like one that maybe you would copy to the clipboard, but let's say you posted a story with a lot of information on it, you could really easily hit more, copy that information to the clipboard and maybe repurpose that content out to a post, or you could reshare a story that's similar to content to that. You can also really nicely hit view and it'll take you directly to what that story looked like. And it doesn't matter if the story is expired. So even if you posted a story from a month ago, you can go ahead and see exactly what it looked like, which is nice, especially if it was one of your more popular stories and you are looking to replicate that. But this is a really great way to fine tune that strategy. You can also, toggle on more rows and you can see a nice list of all of the stories that you've posted and what's performing the best for you.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so the list of stories is great because you can see just at a glance your, top 5 to top 100 or how however many stories you've posted in that time period. So then you can, repurpose content that's similar or has, kind of the same strategies, so that you can just see at a glance what's working best.
Yeah. And I like to organize it by impressions, but of course you can organize it however. So if you want to see the story that was maybe the most viewed, you can do that, which I just changed it, and you see how it went to the impressions by top to
Mhm.
bottom.
Amazing. Okay. So that is kind of all of the information and the kind of demos we have for today. So we are going to open it up for questions. And also, I want to share kind of another little freebie with you guys. So if you use code stories23, you can try any of Metricool's premium plans 30 days for free. So when you go to create your account, you can just click upgrade and go through the process as if you were creating a paid account. And then you can add in stories 23 to try 30 days for free. So most of the features that we talked about today are absolutely free.
Mhm.
So if you want to just play around with them and create your free account, you can also do that. But to unlock some of the advanced features, you can try this code to try it out.
Yeah, and we'll leave a link to Metricool in the chat as well, so that if you want just a direct link, it'll be there for you as well with the code again.
Amazing. Okay. Let me see. So this one, someone left a little bit ago. If you want to add a button, for example, as a link, we can't do it if we program the story right. We have to do it manually. Yes. So like we mentioned in the beginning, this is the same for trending audio and stickers. So these are just some of the limitations we have when it comes to auto publishing. So if you want to add, the stickers, links, trending audio, then you will need to enable push notifications and then download that story. But you can still schedule it in terms of choosing a time and day, just so that you don't forget about it or that it just kind of slips your mind. So that this is a nice way to not forget about it. Okay. Someone asked, will there be an option to also post Facebook stories?
So as of right now, we don't necessarily have an answer for you, but make sure that you follow us on all of our socials, because all of our new features are blasted on there, and you'll know firsthand once we do release that feature.
Yes. Okay. So a lot of people ask this because when they post on their personal side, it will say posted by Metricool. But for people who are viewing your content, they will not see this posted by Metricool. So, unfortunately, you can't switch that to say for your social media business. But overall, none of that will appear for people who are viewing it externally, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
no one is seeing it. You can, so for example, like if you're on, I believe it does it on like LinkedIn, you can hit on your page view as like a member or as a follower. I'm not entirely sure what the actual verbiage is, but if you click on that, you'll see what your viewers are seeing, and it won't show who's posted it.
Mhm. Okay, someone asked, Metricool account can be shared by more than one manager. So in our premium plans, you can add on team members, and then you can change their role. So we have, I think, administrator, editor, and I always forget exactly what.
Let me look right now. We'll get the exact names for you in 1 second.
But
One of
yeah,
them is manager. I know that.
but whatever role, so if you have them as an administrator role, then they can access all of the features. They can schedule out content and also see, everything. So
Yeah. It's
it can be clear.
analyst, editor, and manager.
I'll show you really good. Okay, analyst, editor, and manager. Yes. So it can be managed by more than one, to answer your question. Okay. In terms of analytics, what do you want to see in tap backs, tap forwards, or organic exits? Which is better?
So I think that this honestly just depends on you. So like a tap back, you'll know that maybe whatever they saw previously, they're going back to see it. Whereas a tap forward might be, oh, they might just be quickly scrolling through your stories. So it just really depends on like what your goals are. I always like to think that tap backs are good because it means they were like, oh, I saw something. Let me go back and look at what that previous story said. So I would personally say that tap backs are something that you should pay attention to. Organic exits is also a good thing to look at as well, like maybe see if there's a pattern of like what point in your stories that you posted people exited out, like where their attention span kind of stopped or things like that. But it really does take some time to like look over everything, like over a period of time. I would say look like a period of maybe like 30 days and see how that content is doing on stories.
Mm-hmm. But ultimately, yeah, you want these metrics help you understand how your audience is engaging. So, if you see more tap backs, tap forwards, organic exits, this means that people are really going through all of your stories and kind of engaging with the content rather than, just seeing one story and then just leaving. So yeah. Okay. So someone asked about kind of our plans. The starter plan is not a premium plan. So this will be our free plan. So I'm going to pull up all of our different plans to kind of show you guys what we're working with. Someone asked too about some of the advanced features. So I can just show you guys all of our plans.
Yeah, we'll pull that information up. I'm also seeing that someone asked if they can use the basic Metricool for free more than 30 days. Absolutely. We are first and foremost free. So if you have that free plan, you have that free plan forever.
Oh, don't want to be in. Okay. So here are all of our plans. So you can see that there's the free account. We'll stay free for life. So this will, you can manage one brand across all social platforms. So a brand technically is one, it's hard to explain. One, so say if you can explain it better, Alex.
Okay. So like a brand is like, think of it as like a business or one personal brand. So for example, like Metricool has multiple accounts, right? So we're Metricool US, but we also have Metricool Spain. Those are two different brands.
Yes. Okay. And then the starter account is kind of our first entry premium account. So with this, you can manage 5 to 10 brands. And you can have this unlocks LinkedIn connection. And with all of our premium plans, you can have customizable and downloadable reports, more competitor analysis. So just some of these things you can kind of read through. Just unlocks kind of the full capability of Metricool. And then once you get to the advanced and the enterprise, this is when you can add those team members and client access. You can change the role management. So yeah, just some kind of overview. We can share the link to our pricing, the pricing site, if you guys want to look through all of our pricing plans. But yes. Okay. I think that's all of the questions that we've covered.
Yeah.
Anything else from you, Alex?
I'm just seeing one more. So it said, how did you get to the lists page? So I'll show you again. Let me pull that up real quick. Okay, so going to the list. So you'll want to make sure you're in the analytics tab. And then you're going to click on whatever platform you want because we do have that list feature for all of the platforms, but we'll do Instagram. So I'm going specifically to the story section, and then you just scroll down within that section and it'll show you that list of stories. And you can see this for different types of content as well. So there's lists of posts, and this is available in pretty much all of our analytics sections, and it's really helpful. And each platform has different columns you can toggle on and off. So I would definitely recommend getting in there and seeing what metrics you can really measure through there.
Perfect. Okay, sorry, just saw this one too. If our Instagram is connected to Facebook, will it post simultaneously as per usual?
So it won't. So if you're talking specifically about Instagram stories, it won't post simultaneously unless you're doing it manually within the app. So in that case, I would recommend, or we would recommend, to do a push notification. So then you can make sure that that story is also shared to Facebook.
Yes. Okay.
I think that's it in terms of questions.
Yes.
But if you happen to tune in late, or if you want to reference back to anything that we talked about, this will live on our YouTube channel, so you can always go back and watch it. And feel free to drop in the chat any questions you may have. We'll go back in and answer anything that we didn't get to today.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave any questions too. We'll make sure to get to those. But everyone have a great day, and thank you for tuning in. And make sure to also utilize those story templates.
Yes, and the code. Don't forget about the code stories
Yes.
23.
The last thing I will share too is a QR code. If you want to follow us on Instagram, you can take a little screenshot of this. And there's a few questions that I'm just going to run through also while people are.
They just came in.
Okay, someone asked if you're able to download or upload your own templates inside Metricool. So at this time, no, you can't kind of upload your own templates and keep them in Metricool, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So yes, but that is something hopefully that we can add at a later date. So.
And if you do have Canva and you do make your templates within there, you can, keep a Canva folder and then import them directly that way.
Yes. Okay. Another question too, does it affect the analytics for Instagram or TikTok if you post from Metricool? So this gets brought up a lot, and something that we like to debunk because third-party tools don't decrease your reach or your impressions. So no, it won't affect your analytics. I mean, there's always going to be external factors of why your reach may be lower, but as in general, scheduling from a third-party tool will not decrease the reach.
And we are verified and we are partners, so there's no problem with using Metricool.
Yes. Okay. So this one also gets asked a lot. Is there a way for Metricool to work without connecting to a Facebook page? So in order to connect your Instagram and Facebook, you do need to have a Facebook page.
And that is a requirement through the API. So it does need to happen. But one thing that we do like to tell everyone is that you can create that Facebook page to make the connection, and you don't necessarily have to use the Facebook page. It can just kind of sit there as like a filler, so that you can make that Instagram connection.
Yes. Okay, last one. To close it out, are these webinars posted on YouTube after they air live here? Yes, they are. So you can watch these on our YouTube channel after this is posted. So if you are viewing later or want to watch it back, just head to our YouTube channel and you can watch all of our post webinars as well as our other videos. So make sure to follow us on YouTube. Okay, everyone, thank you again for joining. Hope you have an amazing day, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.